Hello again, loved ones. This is Matt Stevens, and I hope you're well. I'm doing very well. Pardon me if you see a little waft of smoke. I've got some incense burning. I wasn't exactly planning to do a video here, but as usual, I got inspired, that's when I do videos, is when I'm inspired to do so. And that usually occurs when I'm outlining a podcast or whatever. But anywho, so what I want to talk about is to create anything in our reality, be it whether we want to manifest something or whatever the case may be. And I'm not going to get into manifestation practices and stuff. I feel like there's enough of that out there already that you've probably figured that out. Only thing I can really say to you, though, is manifest experiences, not things. Because I feel like you're going to have a lot more success with that. Because your higher self, your true self, is only interested in experiences. It's only interested in things that you can take with you when you finally disconnect from this body, from this avatar. The things that you can take with you will be experiences, lessons learned, knowledge, memories, if you will, things like that. So manifest things, experiences. The things will just as a byproduct will come with that because it's necessary, because we do live in a 3D physical world, as I always say. So the things will be necessary and they will come when you manifest those experiences. So, anywho, I said I wasn't going to get into that, but that's just kind of a tip. That's something that I feel like a lot of the people who talk about manifestation and things like that kind of leave out. They're always so focused on material things. And listen, I'm not poo-pooing material things, okay? I mean, look, I've got stuff around me, okay? I'm not, I understand. Because this is a material, physical world. We are here for an experience, and that's part of it. I mean, it just is. However, I believe if you want your higher self to participate, and if you want the things in the 5D that are outside of 3D to assist you, I think you'll get their attention better and get them more. I don't want to say more likely or more, willing to help you, but if you go with, the things that they would be more interested in, such as experiences. Anywho, so there's that. To create something, we have to believe that we can. And belief is a tricky thing. It is. Because it makes me kind of bring up the whole faith, and then we've got trust. And what's the difference between trust and faith? You see, I know that they kind of sound like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, but there is a difference, and it's not a huge difference, but there is a difference between faith and trust. You see, faith is something that you cannot physically prove. Anything you have faith in, it's something you can't physically prove. I don't know that my desk is in front of. I don't have faith that my desk is in front of me. I know that it is, and that's more of a trust. Trust is a knowing. Faith is more of a hope. Although a very strong faith can be looked at as a knowing. But then I think that's kind of when it blurs into trust. But that can be looked at on the sliding scale of like love and hate and things like that it talks about in the principle of polarity in the Kybalion. Right? Where at what point does trust become faith, or does faith become trust, or whatever? But I just feel like trust is a little more concrete. And so, the difference between faith and trust, I mean, it may be not that big of a deal to you. And really, I don't put a whole lot into it. I just know that there is a difference. So, but when you when you've seen something work, you tend to have more trust in it rather than just faith. Like, for example, my car, or any car for that matter. I pretty much know that it's going to work. Well, that may be a matter of faith, but as long as it's running, right? I trust that it's going to take me wherever I want it to go. Maybe this isn't the best analogy, but work with me. Like I said, I was just inspired. I wasn't really even planning to do this, but here we are. So, I don't know how a combustion engine works. I don't really know how a car works. I know that it burns fuel, which causes a reaction, which causes pressure, which makes things start working, and ultimately makes the wheels turn. I know that much. Now, how that works, I don't know. I don't know. And really, I mean, personally, I don't really care, but, maybe I should, but I don't. So there's that. But I have faith, I guess, in that I'm going to get in my car and it's going to go. Because I don't know, but as long as it starts, I understand the whole process. I do trust that the process works. So there's that. Okay. Now, when you've seen something work, you have trust in it. You know that it's going to work. But this is kind of where faith and trust come in with regards to reality creation or manifesting or whatever the case may be. Because it's hard to believe in something that hasn't already shown itself, right? It's hard to believe in manipulating reality, like in my last video, that it's hard to believe in things that I haven't witnessed yet work. And what I mean by that is my 3D physical self. It's like if I'm just now getting into reality creation and how to make things, make things better or whatever the case may be. If I haven't seen that work in my life yet or whatever, actually you have, you just may not realize it because we're always manifesting even the bad things in our life. Everything we've got, everything we've been through, everything we've experienced to this point, we have manifested. We just may not have been what we wanted, and we may not have been realizing that's what we were doing. But that's a whole other point. So sometimes it's better. Sometimes it's good to understand the inner workings, so that we can know it's going to work. So what I'm getting at is, I may not be a scientific guy. I kind of probably already just explained that when I told you how my understanding of how cars work. But I do, and so therefore, for example, the book by Itzhak Bentov, Stalking the Wild Pendulum. It's very scientific. It's very much into physics and science and things, and it's one of those books that's super interesting, very enlightening, but also very hard to read for me, because it's just not something I'm interested in. But it explains how you manipulate energy. It explains how every thought you have, every action, everything you do, even your heartbeat, influences the field around you. And it explains it in a very scientific way. So, if you've never seen things in action, if you've never seen the manipulation of the field in action, I would recommend you read that book. Read Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Because then you will see on paper, scientifically, with physics and all that stuff included, how these things work. And then you can maybe build some trust in the process. Rather than, because some people I can fake it till I make it. I can, all those things. But I feel like I'm faking it. Some people say that. And I'm like, okay, fine. I get that. I get it. So if you've never really seen it happen in your life yet, then maybe read a book like that. Find a way to build some trust in it. That way you will have belief. if you're having a hard time faking it till you make it, then that way you will have some belief. You have, and that way it'll be a whole lot easier to bring those first manifestations or those first bits of reality creation, the deliberate reality creation, the kind you want, into your paradigm, so that you'll know. You can say, that makes sense. You can look at those things and say, that makes sense. Now I can see how it would work. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. So anyway, loved ones, yeah, I'm going to recommend you read it. Itzhak Bentov had 2 books. One was kind of post-mortem. It was A Brief Tour of Higher Consciousness, which is the follow-up to Stalking the Wild Pendulum. Yes, you should probably read Stalking the Wild Pendulum first, because it, in Brief Tour of Higher Consciousness, it references that book quite a bit. Although Brief Tour of Higher Consciousness is much more spiritual than scientific. But it's good. It's a good way to get an understanding of how things work. So that way, if you are like, I'm just struggling with believing that this actually works, there you go. That's how you can build that. So I'm going to recommend those books to you. But regardless, just start out small. Don't go and manifest a freaking Corvette. Okay? Manifest $10. Manifest something that is not, that it doesn't change. It has so many moving parts, don't have to move in order to create that. And that way you can build belief. There you go. Anyway, loved ones, that's what I got. Please like and subscribe, and I love you. And I'll be back directly.